You are listening to Hello Cupcake, It's Me, a podcast with your host, Michael Peterson.
Hey everyone, Michael here with Hello Cupcake, It's Me, a podcast, and today is May 1st, 2025, and isn't it a great time to be alive? Question mark. If you haven't done so already, please hit like and subscribe, then head on over to youtube.com/hellocupcakeitsme to check out the YouTube channel that is updated every Wednesday and Saturday. And also make sure you head over to hellocupcakeitsme.com to check out the blog. That gets updated sporadically, so you never know when it's going to be updated, so make sure that you bookmark it. And then also follow me on all the different social medias, including Blue Sky and Red Note, and you'll find the links for all of that in the notes below. And check out my book, Carpe Diem Scroto, 365 Daily Affirmations. And you can find that at www.cdsthebook.com. So how is everyone doing? I am doing a little bit better today. The last week or so, I've just felt really blasé and not in step with everything. And today it's beautiful spring day here in Washington, and before going to the pool this morning, I just spent about 2 or 3 minutes standing directly in the sun with my eyes closed, just like taking in all of that good sunshine. And I think that like really helped, and whatever was kind of like being yucky inside me just helped alleviate it. So couple things today. I had a listener slash viewer send me in a couple of questions and wanted me to cover them in either a video or on the podcast. So I'm going to go ahead and cover that here in a few minutes. As you all know, from time to time, I utilize my local food bank. Well, when I went there today, the guys who work it said, hey, just wanted to let you know that we are going to be switching to bi-monthly now instead of weekly. Just until things get a little bit better. Our funding has been cut, and it's just if we continue to do the weekly food bank, we're not going to be able to keep this program going. And it kind of came from our higher ups that we have to do this. I was like, okay, thank you for letting me know. It does impact my household, but it also impacts the hundreds of people in the community that desperately need and rely on that and are constant. And there's a new flow of people going to it almost weekly. So it's pretty sad when the food banks are like tapping out because the administration just doesn't support the stuff that is needed in the communities. And a lot of people are just like, well, they can go get jobs, or if you can't feed them, don't breed them, those type of people. And it's just disgusting. And they don't take into consideration that it's veterans, it's the working poor, it's the elderly who can no longer work, it's the disabled, physically, mentally, whatever disabled. So I don't know what the answer is, but I do know that cutting these vital programs is not the correct answer. So that's my soapbox for today. If you are in a position to help people, do so. A lot of you who watch my YouTube video, and I think I've also have covered it a couple of times in my podcast, but so yeah, sorry, I had to pause the recording there for a second, and I don't remember where I left off. So, um, anyways, yeah, there's just a lot of stuff going on, and um, we'll just get into the the request that was sent to me. So today is a little bit different in how we're going to be, how I usually do my podcast or whatever. But I was asked, do I ever have apocalyptic dreams? And I think I may have covered this in other episodes, but yes, I do have apocalyptic dreams, and I have very vivid, lucid dreams where I live entire lifetimes in that dream. Like, and then there's nothing special about that dream. I wake up, I go to work, and in some of the world's realities, dreams, whatever, um I have a full-on family or relationships or whatever else. Like, there's nothing ever really anything extravagant about it, but there are those times where I have full-on apocalyptic dreams where America is no longer America. Like, it has been completely bombed out, and we are just doing our best to survive. The government has completely collapsed, and what government does remain is like trying to control the entirety of the country and maintain what power it still has left. um think of like a whole republic versus rebel type situation, where you have these little pocket groups of soldiers of fortune trying to battle it out with something bigger than them. Terminator is another really good idea. Um, but in these dreams, I'm always in a position of some type of power. Like, I'm either a strategist, or I am some kind of teacher, healer, or something in these dreams. And it's always like after a war or like during a war that I've had these dreams, and it's not like past life regression or anything like that. It's full on, like, this is happening in the future type situation. One such dream I had, we had this advanced technology, and I was in the process of trying to get a group of people through these city ruins to safety. And we started getting shot at from a long distance away. Like, you would hear the boom, and then a few minutes later the person would drop or what have you. And I used this like screen device thing that I had on my forearm to zoom in where the shooting was happening from, and I double tapped on the person and pushed another button, and in real time on the screen that person died. and um it killed one of the people that I was transporting, and I was really upset about that. Sometimes the dreams that I have involve like abilities, like X-Men type abilities, but they are all still very apocalyptic in nature, where um there's been a couple of those dreams where the people with those abilities had either awakened or they were genetically modified somehow to have these abilities and are using them to wage war against an oppressive fascist government type entity. And it's all usually essentially themed around some kind of war, some kind of struggle, some kind of like having to off move and live off grid. Um, one such dream I that my niece's father had included me, and um, our dreams almost kind of matched up. So in his dream, there was a big white truck with a guy who kind of that looked like him driving. My sister and my niece was about 20ish, and they were driving to this fort this fortified area, whatever you want to call it, and they had been stopped at the front gate, and um she my sister had said that, I'm such and such a sister or whatever, and they called for me, and I came up to the platform, and I said, "It's about time you made it, doctor." Well, fast forward almost 20 years now. um had my sister continued with her education, she would have been a doctor by this time. And the guy that she's with now has a big white truck, looks like her ex, and my niece is in her 20s, and it's a big wooded area. And um from the description of the dream, I kind of have an idea as to where it is in proximity to where I live. And I had a dream similar to that, where I was in this commune and taking care of people and like ordering people to do like this or that shift, or need to do parameter sweeps and so on and so forth. And getting a call that I had somebody who was identifying themselves as family at the front gate. So there's a lot of kind of similarities and things. One such dream I had, we had captured this thing that looked kind of like an angel, and we had it in this like containment field, and we were um, we were up on the side of a hill, and things were coming at us from the bottom trying to get up the hill, and we had suppressive fire like holding them back. And it said to me, "You're not going to be able to keep me for very long." And I remember looking at it and saying, "It's going to be long enough," and like waking up from that. So yeah, do you have really strange dreams like that? And if so, have you seen correlations between your dream and your waking life? Dreams are very fascinating, and dreamology is a very fascinating subject, because a lot of times it's your subconscious trying to get stuff to your conscious mind and it's kind of like your brain talking to itself, like, hey, listen, this is what's going on and that's what's going on. And there's dream dictionaries and all this other stuff about like the symbology. So you see a pink cat, what does that mean? What does the color pink represent? Okay, seeing a cat, what was going on with the cat? What kind of sights, smells, and sounds do you hear, smell, or taste? All that. And if you see a black widow spider, it means this. If you run into a spider web, it means that. So it's a really fascinating caveat of um, psychology. So yeah, I would love to hear your dreams and some of the things that have happened. Have they been premonitions for you? Like you saw something happening in a dream and then you wake up and either that day or within a week or so, something exactly like that in your dream has happened. Um, they say that what do you call deja vu? They say that deja vu is a form of like overlapping realities. Um, in medical terms, they say that deja vu is like small strokes that you're having. So it's all very interesting, and I would love to hear some of the things that have gone on with you. Um, and in speaking about this, I now remember what I was saying before I had to pause the recording. So if you are in a position, this is going back to the food banks and things, but if you're in a position to help others, please try to do so. Doesn't matter if you only are able to buy them a single meal, or if you do something like what I'm trying to do, where I'm trying to knit 100 hats for the homeless people, or people in need. There's so many different ways that you can help people. um, if you go to a homeless encampment and you know that they have a lot of animals there, maybe buying a big bag of dog or cat food and dividing it up amongst everyone, that could help. Or just making little 1 pound bags out of that 20-pound sack, or, 2 scoops per bag for each person. Anything helps. Instead of taking your old like blankets and clothes and stuff to Goodwill or to a donation center or something, donate them to the homeless people. Drive around your town. I'm sure you know where there's at least a few homeless people, and offer them the blanket, offer them the clothes. See if there's anything that they need right then and there on the spot. A lot of times, can openers. Um, I like to give people hand sanitizer, because not only can they use it to sanitize their wounds or anything that has happened to them, but with hand sanitizer, it burns like a sterno, so they can put that on some kindling and start up a fire real easily. um, a few years ago, I started back in like June or July, and I started collecting stuff from the dollar store. So I would go to the dollar store with like $20, and I'd get band-aids, and I would get toothbrushes and toothpaste, and uh, just like bars of soap and things like that. And I put together what I called dignity bags. And in each one of the bags, there was like a, a razor for shaving. So I put like 1 or 2 razors in there for shaving, a toothbrush, a little thing of toothpaste, some hand sanitizers. Uh, I put in there some condoms, and I also put some hypodermic needles in there, along with a card for the Clean Needle Exchange program. And I also had a men's and a women's bag that I put together. So in the women's, I put tampons or maxi pads in them, depending on what I had, and a bar of soap with like a soap holder, and I put together maybe 130 of those bags. And then I went to the health department and got a bunch of stuff from them. I went to one of my local dentist offices, and they donated a bunch of toothpaste and dental floss and stuff like that. Then I had a friend from back east donate a case of soap and a case of socks. And so I made up, I just did what I could with what I had available to me. And that was my way of giving back to the community. Do I have it to give? No. But instead of spending $8 on a cup of coffee, I can take that $8 and go to the Dollar Tree and buy 5 items, and take those 5 items and then divide it up amongst 10 people, so it's an idea, and I like doing stuff like that by myself because I don't want to have a church or an organization or an association attached to the gift giving, or to be attached to whatever I'm doing, because churches always want to pray and give a sermon. People know where God is, and they don't need to be prayed at. They don't need to be sermoned to. And, organizations always want to like put their banner out there as like a PR thing, like, look at what we did. And no, you're not going to use the pain and suffering and misfortune of others to promote your brand or whatever. That's just disgusting. And so I had a lot of people tell me, well, you should have included XYZ. And I'm like, well, I would have included them had they like not wanted to put a banner on it. I would have included this church or this church if they did not want to go and sermon to the people. Like, no, I'm anti-religion when it comes to stuff like that. Like, you don't think that the people who are homeless don't pray to whatever God they feel is relevant? That they haven't prayed every single day, every single night that they are displaced? So to have a church group go in there and like, oh, we must pray over the meal and we must give thanks to the people who made... No, that is patting yourself on the back. That is taken away from servicing the people. You don't have to give a sermon to service. Give of yourself selflessly and move on about your business. You don't need a big write-up in the newspaper. You don't need a news crew. You don't need your Instagram clout. Like, oh, look at me, I'm giving $400 to this homeless person. Or, no. If you're using it and if the gift that you are giving is benefiting you in any kind of way, then don't do it. Just don't do it. Leave it alone. It's not about you. It's about that person. It's about giving of yourself selflessly. You want to give to help. You don't want to give to get that 5 minutes of fame, to get that like Instagram clout, to get on the morning news as like, this is something big and wonderful that I'm doing. Praise me. When you add religion, politics, or ego to the situation, you are no longer helping the person. You are promoting an agenda. You are promoting your faith, your whatever. And so I would rather take directly from my own coffers and give selflessly without the expectation of reward or being repaid, just knowing that I did good for a member of my community. Do I have it to give? Like I said, absolutely not. I don't have it. But if I have enough to buy a cup of coffee, I have enough to give to somebody who needs it or may need it even more than I do. Do some of those people use it for drugs and alcohol? Yeah, they do. But you know what? Is that for me to judge? Absolutely not. I give them what I have to offer without condition, without ego, without expectation. Here, take this. Sorry it's not more. Hope it helps. Whatever they do with it past that is on them. So that's that soapbox. So anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. There's so much more that I could talk about with everything else going on in my life, but for right now, I'm just going to leave it at that. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, put them in the comment section down below. If you are planning on doing something like this, please feel free to hit me up for some ideas. I would love to hear about it. I'm not going to talk about it if you decide to put this together or whatever. But I would like to hear about it. And you can shoot me an email, hellocupcakeitsme @gmail.com. And yeah, until next time, I will talk to you then. Don't add to the population and don't subtract from the population, and do the best you can with what you have available to you. Bye, guys.
Hey you! Tired of mental health books that feel like homework or therapy sessions in disguise? Carpe Diem Scroto is not that book. Written by author Michael Peterson, utilizing his own personal mental health journey, it's your daily dose of clarity, humor, and healing, designed to meet you exactly where you are. Whether you're sipping coffee in chaos or taking a quiet minute for yourself, this book gives you real, raw tools to reframe your day, your mindset, and your life. Unlike anything else on the market, Carpe Diem Scroto blends personal storytelling, practical mental health strategies, and a keep-it-real attitude that makes self-work feel like self-empowerment. Use it daily, share it with a friend, or grow at your own pace. Ready to reclaim your day with bite-sized brilliance? Head to www.cdsthebook.com to grab your copy or learn more.
Thank you so much for tuning in. You have been listening to Hello Cupcake, It's Me, a podcast with your host, Michael Peterson. Please make sure to check back often as new episodes are released bi-weekly. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to send a message to hellocupcakeitsme @gmail.com. And until next time, stay happy, safe, and keep doing the best you can with what you have been given.